Hello, friends. Those back pages here. I hope you're well. The title, I'm still thinking about the title of tonight's episode. Something to the effect of Historical Card Collecting, a Beginner's Guide. But that's a bit presumptuous. I'm no expert on historical. I am still learning to walk in that genre, I guess I'd say. But I do have a certain grip. Go ahead. And on certain aspects of collecting, and I would like to get that on video and talk about that tonight. You know, obviously, collect what you want, collect how you want, yada yada yada. That phrase is, wearing thin, and I think it's important to learn from others what what you might want to be collecting. I try not to think of the proper way to say this, but your friends influence what you collect, whether you want to admit that or not. And I think that's a good thing that they do, and I appreciate my friends who have helped me, a few of them very, very dearly, in this pursuit of this collection. And you know who they are, so I won't call them out by name, and they know who they are. One friend and I, Don, the show and me, were in the early stages of trying to compile a list of names that you really should have, and if you're going to go this direction, here are some historical figures you should have in your collection. Some of them are going to be represented. I'm going to show off some slabs tonight. Some of them are represented here. Some of them might not be. And again, your list is going to vary. Your mileage may vary in this regard. But I aim for a very well-rounded historical collection, opting for a wider net rather than a deeper, like a wider lake rather than a deep pond, or vice versa, however that would go. And another thing that I'll reiterate here before I start showing the cards is that you don't necessarily, I don't like the term rookie card when it comes to historical figures, because some of these historical figures are flag and are things, like flags and things like the New York State flag here, or the Eiffel Tower from a 1901 release, which is a real photograph. But so not necessarily the first or the, like I said, a rookie card, but a nice representation for your collection for a historical figure, and I'll leave my guide to the end there, but I'm just going to show off and talk about them a little bit. Like, here's a 1899 Stalwart Da Vinci, his first card, which is pretty much accepted to be his first card. There's a lot of debate on some of these historical figures, what their first card is, and a lot of them can get to be quite costly. You start talking about George Washington here from 1925, Players and Sons, and he has a Dukes from like 1888, which is can be upwards of 20 times the price of this one. I won this one because it was cheap, and before I decided to start to focus more on having one card in the collection. Here's another one that I'm proud to own this one, but I have another one on the way that I would like to represent my collection more than this particular. This is a early 1900s, like 1900s, 1900s Thomas Edison. It's embossed. I've shown this one before. It's from a chocolate company. You know, they put these in with the cans of the chocolate bars, I suppose, and it's embossed. You know, he's there with the telephone and everything, and happy to have that. But I did win another more traditional size, tobacco size card. Here's one. Here's a 1901 Mozart. Again, I have to learn. I still haven't. I've been lackadaisical on that. There's F bass. You'll see here. Here's my boy Beethoven. Here's a D bass. Here's a E bass and again, these two are actually, one card is smaller, or maybe not, I don't know. I think it is a little bit, the size difference is a little bit. But again, I don't know, and again, here's that horrible baggie. Here's another insert that they're trying, I suppose, but while I'm show off another Beethoven. Here's a 1924 Milhoff Man of Genius. Very, very popular set. Again, 6 MK. You know, these were redeemed 100 years ago, and I don't remember exactly what for, but they would stamp them on the back. So you see a lot of these with this blue stamp there on the bottom. And otherwise, nice looking card. The art on these is fantastic. And Beethoven is probably my number one historical collection. My focus, I suppose. Here's another 1901 Ogden's Guinea Gold F bass. It's Mark Twain. These are blank backs. Happy to have that in the collection. Again, you can go all over the place. I've shown this. I think I did an episode of this just for itself, and from 2009 Heritage, Topps Chrome Heritage, historical American they call it, but refractor. You know, these are numbered to 76. These are quite difficult to track down. Very happy to have that in the collection. Here's one I haven't shown before, but if you've been collecting a long time, you'll recognize this particular grader. This is from 64 Topps. This is a SCD Authentic. Company that's not around anymore, but Topps put out a whole JFK set after he was assassinated, and I've tried to pick out, you know, a nice portrait looking one or in action, but this'll do to have one in the collection. Here's let's do these first. Here's the Ben Franklin I have in my collection. Very, very big fan of these Royal Bengals from 1911. T66. Or 68, sorry, yep. 68. But, Heroes of History. This covers a very wide base of historical figures. And they're getting, all these historical figure stuff is starting to get a little more pricey or costly, however you want to phrase it. But, you know, when I was picking these things up, I was ahead of the curve, fortunately. Presents very well. It has a pinhole right on the top there. But, so that's Ben Franklin. Here's the George Washington I mentioned before from the same set, the Royal Bengals crossing the Delaware. Just fantastic art on this card. So I'm going to have one George Washington in the collection. This is the one I'm happy to have. I obviously would like to have a Dukes or many of the other ones he has. The presidents tend to have a lot of them, the U.S. presidents. Here's the Abe Lincoln from the same set. Just fantastic art on that. I love the green, the shade of green there used. So happy to have that in the collection, to have that represented, especially the way things are going. Like I mentioned, that's from 1911. He has cards back to, I think Dukes is from 1888. So you can really run up the price tags and chase those down. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But again, we're talking about, pre-war stuff. And when you start to look at these pre-war prices, even now with the quote-unquote higher prices, it pales in comparison to baseball. And, that's a whole nother topic is, Abe Lincoln and George Washington and such, their popularity versus, after you get past Ruth, Cobb, Lou Gehrig, DiMaggio, Walter Johnson, Cy Young, Christy Mathewson, you start going down the list, the price of a, and again, these are, these Bengals are from 1911, so they're pretty much the same age as the T206. And, how much more popular are these fellas than Nap Lajoie? And they're fractions price-wise. Fractions. I've talked about that before. But here's a 1928 Jasmati Albert Einstein from Germany. This card. The back is in German. And there's 5 different backs, like the T206 have different backs. These have different backs. I believe this is the easiest one. Again, does that really matter? We're talking about a card that is 96 years old. Technically, this is a playing date. Albert Einstein, since he was alive at the time. I think he's the first person I've shown tonight that whose card. No, Twain. Mark Twain was also alive when that card came out. And that's so that adds to the collectability. And he's in, if you want to chase the big card, Einstein is in this Milhoff set, but it's a comic card, so good luck with that. And they're not easily to find. They're not readily available. There's some on eBay, I believe, last time I checked, for S and Giggles. Here's a 1901 Mozart from Guinea Gold. I'm a big fan of this Guinea Gold set. This 1901 release, we're talking about a card that's 123 years old. Submitted this one myself. I think the rest of these that I'll show tonight, I'm looking at them now. Yeah, the rest of these I've shown myself. I've submitted myself. And I did submit them to SGC. Whoa, no, you don't like the Tux. No, I don't. But it beats a raw card for sure. And the service and, the price tag was worth it. And the overall turnaround time is debatable, but due to the nature of these cards. Here's a 1901 Sebastian Bach. And I believe this, at the time I submitted this, there was only one other one graded, I think. And again, this one's nice. They don't have the baggie. That's a topic I've talked plenty about. Here's from 1908, Stalwart Mozart as a child. Again, the back is in German. Here's the Bach from the same set. I do have a Beethoven in the pile for the show this year to get submitted to get graded. Here's the 1911 Will's Cigarettes Mozart. Musical celebrities set. Here's the Bach. Nice 3. Oh, the Mozart came. That's right. Came back a 4 again. That's not really relevant. Here's the Beethoven from that set. I graded a few of these. I just grabbed one. This is the lowest graded one I have so far. Just happy to have that in the collection. Let's see. We'll go old to new. And this here is... I didn't even take it out of the baggie. But this is a very, very, very difficult card to find. This is the 1902. This is the year after New Series 1. Again, blank back. Unfortunately, it does have the baggie inside. It is what it is. I prefer no baggie, but I suppose baggie beats no slab. Again, this is probably this might be my favorite Mozart card, Beethoven card, just because it's not quite it's obviously not a photograph because he was dead for a long time when this came out, but it's as close as you're gonna get, and it's his broody, moody, unhappy looking self. So I do like this image. Very happy to have that in the collection. And then one more that I submitted myself, as I try not to play dominoes here, is from 2009, Allen and Ginter. Yes, the Beethoven no number. And what they did in 2009 is they hand numbered the no numbers. It's funny to say out loud. They hand numbered the no numbers. There's 33 of 50, which is noted on the flip. Something you just don't see a lot of. I mean, now we're talking. This card itself is now 15 years old. So trying to find these no numbers, I'm a big fan. I have a few of them. Not this particular card, a few others. I think I have the Empire State Building. I might have the Eiffel Tower as well. I'm not sure. I have to check. But they're raw, so obviously I would have to remedy that. But again, I think, we're like I said, Don and I, mostly Don, working on that list of what I would consider a well-rounded historical figures collection. So hopefully, this is of interest to you. If you learned something tonight, that is fantastic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I understand that time is precious, and you spending your time here in our community where we try our best to give away the sauce for free. We're not interested in all those shenanigans that happen to be prevalent in our community today.